Ready to have your mind blown?
Always.
Good, because today we're diving deep into Yuval Noah Harari's Homo Deus
Oh, a fascinating choice.
to explore some seriously big questions about the future of, well, us.
The future of humanity.
Yeah, exactly. Like, will we actually achieve immortality?
Not just living longer, right, but like not dying at all.
Exactly. And are we on the verge of creating, like, completely new consciousnesses?
Beyond human, even.
Right. And is happiness?
Is it just a formula we can solve? Some equation?
Yeah, like a biochemical code we can crack.
These are some big ones.
And if just thinking about those questions has your head spinning a little bit,
I can feel it already.
well, you'll definitely want to check out our YouTube channel where
Where you visually explore these ideas.
yeah, we bring them to life, you know,
On a whole other level.
definitely. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out.
Don't miss out.
All right, so Homo Deus,
What's so interesting about it
that's the hook.
is how Harari, he really challenges like the basic story we tell ourselves about being human.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
He says, like, we've actually beaten the things that used to define us.
Define us. You mean like,
Like the big threats, the things everyone worried about forever.
oh, like plagues, famine.
Nowhere, all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's almost like humanity's passed some massive test.
Graduated, maybe?
Right, but now we're kind of stuck with, okay, now what?
Exactly. Like, what do we do with ourselves? And Harari's argument is
Yeah.
that since we've conquered, he calls it the law of the jungle.
Ooh. I like
Humanity's aiming at a whole new set of goals.
Like what? Give me an example.
Immortality, happiness, even.
Immortality. Wait, hold on. That sounds like straight up sci-fi, right?
It might have a few decades ago,
Yeah.
sure. But now, companies like Google,
Google.
they're pouring money into research on how to make us live longer.
No way. Seriously.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
There was this quote from Bill Maris, used to be head of Google Ventures.
And he said, quote, "If you ask me today, is it possible to live to be 500? The answer is yes." End quote.
500 years. Okay, that's mind-blowing. But, like, can you imagine society if people lived for centuries?
It'd be completely different.
Even just think about marriage. Would we still say, till death do us part?
Yeah, the whole idea of family would have to change radically.
Radically.
Not just marriage either.
What else?
Careers, for one.
Oh, true.
Imagine having like 5 different careers over a 500-year lifespan.
5. Easy. Retirement would be out the window.
Completely different concept.
People switching jobs in their 80s, 90s.
It boggles the mind.
It really does. But Harari doesn't stop at immortality, does he?
Not even close.
He gets into this whole thing about engineering happiness.
Yeah, and it gets really interesting. His argument is
Go on.
happiness isn't just a feeling. It's like a whole bunch of stuff happening in our brains, chemicals, processes.
Biochemical stuff.
Exactly. And if we learned enough about
It
it,
can manipulate it.
maybe. We're already seeing hints of it.
Like what?
Brain-computer interfaces.
Brain-computer what now?
They're wild. There are experiments like monkeys controlling robot limbs just with their thoughts.
That's nuts.
Right. And they have helmets, you put them on, and they can read your brain waves.
No way.
Yeah, and then control stuff in your house just by thinking about it.
If you're interested in seeing some of this tech, by the way,
Oh, yeah, great call.
we've got a whole video dedicated to it up on our YouTube channel.
Go check it out. It's amazing.
It's mind-blowing stuff. But these advancements, they come with some big questions.
Huge questions.
Like, what if happiness really boils down to, you know, dopamine, serotonin, whatever?
And we figure out how to turn them on full blast.
Could we make a society where everyone's just, like, blissed out all the time?
A perpetual happy place.
Yeah, but would that even be good?
That's the question.
Would a world without sadness, without struggle?
Would it even feel meaningful?
Right.
Harari brings up this paradox, and it's a good one.
What's that?
As our lives get better, objectively, right,
More food, more comfort, all that.
we tend to expect more too. So even if we eliminate suffering,
We'll still be chasing that next high.
maybe, always striving for more, never really satisfied.
Like running on a treadmill, but for happiness.
Exactly. Hedonic treadmill, he calls it.
So we could end up in a world where there's no more suffering, we've got all the pleasure we could want,
And still feel empty.
still feel unfulfilled.
That's the paradox.
Wow, and this leads to, like, one of the deepest parts of Homo Deus, right?
It does.
His critique of liberal humanism. Okay, break that down for me.
Sure. Harari's point is our modern world, it's built on this idea of
Of what?
its individual experience.
Like, what I feel matters.
Exactly. And that we have free will.
I can choose my own path.
Right. But what if science proves those things are wrong?
Wrong. How could they be wrong?
What if free will is an illusion and our experiences are just,
That's what?
like, products of algorithms, biochemical stuff?
Whoa, slow down. So you're saying all my feelings, my choices,
Predetermined.
that they're not really mine.
It's a possibility he explores.
Okay, that's heavy. Any examples?
He talks about split brain patients,
Split brain.
where they've surgically separated the two halves of the brain.
Like literally cut the connection.
Yeah. And when they study those patients,
Yeah.
what they do often contradicts what they say they want to do.
So their actions don't match their intentions.
Right, suggesting there might not be a single self in control.
So are we just puppets of our biology? That's a scary thought.
It challenges some pretty fundamental assumptions.
It does. And if that's true, where does that leave our sense of morality, of justice?
That's exactly what Harari digs into next.
Okay, let's dive in. But first, we got to talk more about these algorithms.
You're everywhere.
They're telling us what to watch, what to buy.
Who to date, even.
It's kind of creepy, right?
But it goes way beyond that. Harari argues,
Yeah.
as we figure out the brain,
Decoding the brain, you mean?
yeah, we're creating algorithms that might be able to predict our choices.
Better than we can ourselves.
Scary, isn't it?
And it's already happening, right?
Oh, absolutely. Look at AI diagnosing diseases, more accurate than doctors.
No way. For real.
Yeah, or algorithms picking sports winners, composing music.
Like AI Beethoven?
Stuff that's indistinguishable from Bach, even.
Okay, that's both amazing and, like, unsettling. If algorithms can beat us at so many things.
What does that mean for human expertise? For authority?
Big questions.
And it leads to this idea from Homo Deus that's maybe the most controversial.
Which is?
Data.
Dataism. What's that?
It's a whole new way of looking at, well, everything. The universe, us. It's all seen as one giant
Like a computer.
data processing system. Yeah. And the most important thing.
More important than, like, human life.
In this view, yeah,
Well.
is the free flow of information.
So, wait, you're saying that humans...
We're just tools, maybe. For making and processing data, it's pretty radical.
It really makes you question our place in the universe.
No doubt about it.
Whoa, that's a lot to process. And honestly, we've only just dipped our toes into Homo Deus.
Barely scratched the surface.
So if you're finding this discussion as mind-blowing as we are,
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You won't regret it.
yeah, we break down these ideas even further with visuals, and it's a whole experience.
That's a journey.
So hit subscribe and come along for the ride. We'll be back soon to delve even deeper into this.
We've got more to explore, trust me.
So stay tuned.
We'll see you soon. Back again for more Homo Deus.
Round 2.
Last time we were wrestling with dataism, remember?
Vaguely. Remind me.
That whole idea, the universe as a giant data processor?
Yeah, and humans were just
Cogs in the machine.
basically like our experiences, our lives.
Doesn't matter if they're creating data.
Okay, now I remember. And it's kind of a disturbing thought.
It challenges our whole perspective, for sure.
It's like saying, hey, did you share that amazing sunset photo online? No. Well, too bad it didn't really happen then.
That's a pretty good summary, actually.
Dataism judges everything, even human lives, based on how much data they produce.
And contribute to the network, yeah.
So where does that leave us? If algorithms are better at handling information,
Faster? More efficient?
does that make humans, obsolete?
In the eyes of dataism, it's a real possibility.
Wow. But let's back up a bit. Harari also talked about algorithms getting more powerful every day.
And how that's changing who's really in control.
Right. Like, it's not just about what movie Netflix recommends anymore.
Oh, not even close.
So give me an example. Where's this really happening?
Finance. Wall Street. High-frequency trading, you ever hear of it?
I think so. That's where, like, computers are making trades super fast, right?
Millions of transactions per second. Way faster than any human could.
So it's like the stock market's this giant video game.
And the algorithms are playing it for us.
But it's not just a game. These things can crash the market, right?
Oh, yeah. They look for tiny little inefficiencies, things we wouldn't even notice.
And then, boom, they exploit them.
Exactly. It's like they're playing on a whole different level.
One we don't even understand.
Right. Which raises the question, what happens when they start doing that everywhere?
Everywhere. You mean like...
Medicine, law, art, you name it. We've already seen algorithms beat chess grandmasters.
AI beating humans at their own games. Okay, so what does that mean for us?
Well, we just become servants to these super smart algorithms.
Is there any way for humans to stay relevant?
Harari doesn't give easy answers, but he does say...
He does say what?
We got to rethink our relationship with tech. It's not just tools we control anymore.
It's more like
Partners, competitors even.
But partners we created. We write the code, we feed them the data.
Exactly. So even as they get smarter, we still have to make sure
That they're used for good.
yeah, ethically, for the benefit of humanity, that's still on us.
Speaking of ethics, Harari throws out this idea that's kind of wild. You ready for this?
Hit me.
What if, instead of voting,
Instead of an election,
we just let algorithms make the decisions?
because they can predict what we want better than we can.
Exactly. It's kind of scary, but also kind of makes sense.
It definitely makes you rethink the whole idea of democracy,
Right. Is it just about majority rule, or is it about something deeper?
like human agency, the ability to choose our own future.
Even if we screw it up sometimes.
Exactly.
So if algorithms take over decision-making, are we really free anymore?
Or are we just along for the ride wherever the algorithm decides to take us?
And that's not all. Harari also says there's a danger
Oh yeah, a big one.
that as algorithms get smarter, they could start manipulating us.
Without us even knowing it.
Like some kind of mind control?
In a way, they could filter what we see, nudge us towards certain choices.
Play with our emotions.
It's not just some sci-fi movie plot.
This is real stuff.
It's about the very essence of being human. Do we control our lives, or do algorithms?
This is heavy stuff. If this freaks you out as much as us, by the way,
Check out our YouTube channel.
we've got a whole series on the ethics of AI.
It'll blow your mind.
But before we spiral into total existential dread.
We should talk about the upside, too.
Right. Harari also says technology could expand our consciousness.
Create whole new ways of experiencing reality.
So it's not all doom and gloom.
Not at all. He compares the human mind to a vast ocean
I love that analogy.
and says we've only explored the shallows. What if tech could take us deeper?
Yeah. Give me an example.
Brain-computer interfaces. Imagine connecting your mind directly to a computer,
Whoa. Like literally plugging in.
or even to other minds.
Whoa, hold on. So I could experience the world through someone else's senses.
Or share your thoughts and feelings directly.
Like telepathy, but tech-powered.
Exactly. New art forms, new ways to communicate, even new ways to experience reality itself.
That's insane. But wait, there's more, right?
Harari also talks about genetic engineering, pharmaceuticals,
Could change our consciousness.
design your own mental states, choose your emotions, even create entirely new sensations.
Okay, now that's both exciting and terrifying.
Yeah, powerful stuff.
Like, on the one hand, imagine expanding your mind, experiencing the world in ways we can't even imagine.
But then, who gets to control that power?
Right. Do we let everyone access these technologies? Do we regulate what kind of mental states people can create?
Huge ethical questions.
We need to start figuring this stuff out now, before it's too late.
Before it's out of our hands.
But even with all these crazy possibilities,
It's important to remember the value of the ordinary.
the everyday joys of being human?
Exactly. Love, friendship, creativity. Tech can't replace that.
This whole deep dive has been a wild ride.
From algorithms to dataism to consciousness.
And we've barely scratched the surface of Homo Deus.
There's still so much to explore. Join us for the final part
We'll go even deeper into techno-religions,
and the implications of the great decoupling.
plus some truly mind-bending thoughts on the ultimate fate of humanity. Welcome back to our deep dive on Homo Deus. We've explored algorithms, dataism, even the future of consciousness. But now, get this, we're going to talk about techno-religions.
Sounds a little sci-fi, right?
That's Wi-Fi.
But think about it. Religion and technology, they've always been connected.
In a way, yeah.
Ancient rituals, modern megachurches. Tech shapes how we experience faith.
True.
But now it's different. Technology is becoming the object of worship itself.
So instead of praying to a higher power,
We'll be worshiping our smartphones?
you're saying my iPhone's my new god?
Not quite that literally, but Harari says we're seeing techno-religions emerge,
Yeah, no religions.
where people believe technology can solve all our problems, even offer a kind of salvation.
Like the singularity.
Exactly, that AI will surpass human intelligence and create a utopia.
Or transhumanism, using tech to overcome our limits, live forever, be super happy.
All those ideas, they're gaining traction, especially in Silicon Valley.
Where else?
Tech entrepreneurs are pouring money into these technologies, and as they get more powerful, more people will be drawn to them.
So what do these techno-religions actually look like? Do they have rituals, scriptures, prophets?
It's still early, so it's all evolving, but there are some common themes.
Like what?
Emphasis on rationality, scientific progress, a belief that tech can create a better world. and a strong sense of community among believers.
Sounds like a modern kind of spirituality. Less about ancient doctrines, more about technology and progress.
Exactly. But it's important to remember, not all techno-religions are the same.
Some good, some bad.
Some are more utopian, optimistic, others are dystopian, even apocalyptic.
Like some people think AI will save us, others think it'll destroy us.
That's the thing. We need to have these conversations about these emerging techno-religions.
Understand the risks and the benefits.
Figure out what role we want them to play in our lives.
Speaking of critical discussions, Harari also brings up the great decoupling. That sounds pretty ominous.
It is a big one. The Great Decoupling, it's about the separation of intelligence and consciousness.
Okay, break that down for me.
For centuries, we thought they went together. More intelligence equals more consciousness.
Makes sense.
But Harari argues that might not be true anymore.
Because of AI.
Exactly. We're building machines that are super intelligent, but they might not be conscious at all.
So they can solve problems, make decisions,
Write poetry, even.
but they don't feel anything. No emotions, no subjective experience.
It seems that way. Which means we could be heading towards a world where machines are calling the shots.
But they don't care about us.
They don't experience the world the way we do, and that raises some huge ethical questions.
Like what?
If they're not conscious, can they be held responsible for their actions? Do they have rights?
And maybe the biggest question of all.
What happens to the value of human experience?
If intelligence and consciousness aren't linked anymore,
Okay.
so what do we do? Any advice from Harari?
No easy answers, but he says we need to rethink our values. It's not all about intelligence,
We need to value things like empathy, compassion.
even if they're harder to measure.
It feels like humanity's at a crossroads.
We're creating machines that are smarter than us, but they might be missing the very things that make us human.
And the choices we make now will determine what happens next.
Absolutely. Homo Deus is a wake-up call. It's telling us to be more mindful, more ethical.
As we enter this uncharted territory of technological advancement, well, folks, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into Homo Deus. We've covered a lot of ground, from algorithms to techno-religions to the great decoupling. It's been a mind-bending journey for sure.
We've explored the potential of humanity, the risks, the big questions about our future.
And we hope it's left you with some things to ponder. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the ideas that are shaping our world. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep pushing the boundaries of what it means to be human.